Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Cikgu Syamsuria bin Hamdin Hamid. I'm a teacher who teach mathematics and physics in secondary school. After 15 years of teaching at school, currently I'm pursuing my master degree at UNIMAS. And this is my second time participating in this seminar. Well, last year I was a seminar participant, but this year was given the opportunity to become a speaker. Thanks to Associate Professor Dr. Fitri and teams for inviting me to share something. And what's so funny about me is that my original ambition was to become a chef because I really love to eat. But instead offered to pursue a physical science fundamental program at the University of Malaya in 1999. And since then, the desire to become a chef has become increasingly lost. And interest in becoming an educator is getting stronger. All right. We all have gone through school days, both primary or secondary. We are all experienced in pursuing learning in the classroom. In this photo, which often happen in our old days and also nowadays. Some are interesting and some are very boring. Now, as a teacher, I always position myself as a student while teaching in a class. I'm not gonna lie because when I was student in school before, I like anything related to games. All right. Therefore, by using the game as a tool to attract the attention of my student while studying, I try to develop interesting games and at the same time in accordance with objective of learning. However, the main question arises how to make sure that the game is suitable for use. So this is because many educational games, are available such as commercial games as well as application games apps on the internet, but not all are suitable for use in the classroom. And in the development of these educational games, it is best to be guided for me by relevant theories and a model such as flow theory and LMJM model. And actually, I'm not an expert in describing these two theories, but I refer to the use of theory and model as a guidance in the development of the game. For myself, I refer to these two theories in drawing up the game. So the aim is nothing else, just to ensure that the games built are effective and as well as balanced in terms of fun and pedagogy. So in this seminar, I just want to share how I use this theory and model in creating the games that I develop. All right. First, we look at the flow theory. Here is the element that can influence and affect the flow in the games. So I need to make sure that my games has an element of the first one is clear goals, because it is good to provide a clear main goals in the beginning of the game. The second one is challenge, because if the goal seems too challenging, the probability to experience a flow state is very low. The third one is immediate feedback, because it is important to keep the player focused. Playability, because learning is an active process. And the last one here is a sense of control. They must feel that the action have some sort of impact that is within their power. And uh, as for the as for challenging tasks in the game-based learning, if they are too simple, people will easily get bored. However, if they are too difficult, people would feel frustrated and disappointed. And when the level of difficulty in a challenging task match a learner's skills, they may feel pleased and joyful. This is what happened here. In the green line here, we call it flow channel. There are the situation that the flow state has occurred. Okay, based on the flow theory, it is said that concentration plus interest plus enjoyment in an activity must be experienced simultaneously in order for flow to occur. All right. And then therefore, if for me, if I want to know whether the flow experience occur to my students, is to observe the progress of the activities and conduct survey. You can conduct survey to see whether they achieve the flow state or not. All right, for LMGM model, for learning mechanic and game mechanic model, it's used to evaluate effectiveness of the game and to have a better understanding how to use how to use it in the educational settings. And game can be seen for me as a continuous assessment of game knowledge as the player proceeds from level to level. What I mean is from low order thinking skills to high order thinking skills based on Bloom's taxonomy. However, the games need to be designed properly to find so that we can have a correct balance between gameplay and learning objectives. All right. The LMJM model is suitable for digital or non-digital game. Taking the example of a game that I built is a non-digital game consisting of a Cartesian playing board, a card, and dice. All right. When you look at this mapping here, all right, I use the game mapping to analyze my games, and games with a briefing begins with a briefing and information about objective of the game. All right, so we can see the letter A and the number 1 here represent the learning mechanics, instructional, and the game mechanic for information in the briefing state. And then the second part here, we go to the game stage that contains a collection of items such as cards, and player have to complete the instruction on the cards. So if the player is out of the box, all right, uh, the player will be penalized by having to start again at starting point. This requires a sense of responsibility and accountability from the player. So the role of the NPC, non-player character, is as a referee and observer throughout the game, and the role of teachers and NPC as a feedback provider helps player to stay focused. And so in this game, player who will successfully complete the mission will receive a prize in the form of a badge of victory. And then repetitive gameplay reinforce the behavior change, and then player try multiple strategies on the level, and then to increase overall performance. All right, and then I want to show you the game that I built by using this flow theory and the LMJM model. So we go to the next. All right. Okay, this is a game that I call the transformation checker for learning the topics of translation, reflection, and rotation. Okay, this game can be played up to 4 students, where 2 people will be the players, and the other 2 will become the referee or judge or non-player character. All right, the game will start with player being briefed on the rules and the regulation and also the mission of the games. Player who reach the opponent victory, all right, will be counted as the winner. There are transformation card placed in the square box, all right, with even and odd number on the side of the board that have instruction on the transformation to be completed. For starter, the cards used contain only simple concepts related to translation, reflection, or rotation. All right. In turn, the player will roll the dice and will take the card according to the number on the dice, whether it is even or odd. For example, player one has player one has a card with a translation instruction. The player will move his checker according to the instruction, like this. Okay. And then it was the turn of the second player after that to do the same. If the checker piece position of one of the player is off the board, let's say they go to the restricted area there, So he will be penalized and need to bring back the piece to the starting point. Okay. The role of the NPC on the sideline will ensure proper transformation movement and rules are followed. Immediate feedback will be given by the NPC or the teacher who monitor to ensure the players stay focused to complete tasks and mission. Player who reach the victory line first will be counted as winner and awarded with victory badge. For the second set, the NPC in the earlier set will be the player and vice versa. If the player has mastered the basic instruction on the card, the teacher can increase the level of the card by giving the cards that have more challenging instruction, such as instruction that contains two transformations at once. So this is a little bit about the game I built using LMJM model mapping, which is expected to be able to maintain the flow of student experience. Alright. Okay. Now, here are some photos of the game taking place in the classroom. Okay. There is also a video included here due to the time constraint. And this you can see the active involvement of students while playing in their respective groups. The winning students are given a badge. You can see there, given a badge. All right, of victory. Students play until they do not notice the learning time is over, and they feel very happy. And they ask me to add playing time. All right, but it is impossible because there are next lesson. There will be a next lesson after that. So this shows to me that they have experienced flow state while playing. Okay. So as an educator, it is important for us to constantly innovate and strive to improve the quality of teaching and learning. And digital or games, if well designed, will have a positive impact on student behavior and achievement. Hereby, I would like to thank everyone for listening to my sharing. I would like to apologize if there are any mistakes, shortcomings during my presentation, and then with that, thank you so much, and hope to see our normal life back again. Thank you.